Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Today is the 10th of April. It's Domingo de Ramos in Peru and everywhere, I guess. So thank you, dear Ursula Marmol from Peru for your time, for giving us part of your time on a Sunday morning. It's a family day, but you and other people want to learn something, not only about English, but also about life. So thank you, Raj Gill in Canada, Pilar Guadalupe in Trujillo, Peru, Vila Soto, Mary Wood in England, and Sonia Cecilia. So we are going to start. Number one, let me share my screen. Okay. So these international English online meetings were born in March 2020. So this is the 70th presentation today. And as usual, I would like somebody to read this quote and express what you feel reading it. Anyone? This is the quote. Please, Pilar, Raj, Mary, Sonia, anyone?
Okay, me.
Yeah, Pilar.
Okay, the beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away.
What do you think, Pilar? The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. Is that true?
See, yes, that's true, because every day we learn something new.
Like today, for example.
So, for example, it's going to be a meaningful workshop. I hope so.
Okay.
I hope, we hope.
Well, your expectations will be met 100%, Pilar. Next, anybody, please. Vila, Mary Wood, Manny, Marin Rodriguez, or Raj?
Hi, okay, I can help if you need me to. The worst thing about making a mistake is being afraid to make one.
Do you agree with it, Mary Wood?
Yes, definitely. If you can't make mistakes, you're not going to be able to learn.
Yes, so that's what our president is doing, right? Learning from his mistakes.
Oh, well, why? I will not comment on that.
It was a Sunday joke, I'm sorry. Next one, Ursula, maybe this is for you, or Raj.
Yes, nobody's perfect. That's why pencils have erasers.
so let's make mistakes.
Yeah.
But not on purpose. Okay, so if you want to watch the other international meetings, you can watch them in our YouTube channel. You can find like 70, I don't know how many videos we have over there. Who is presenting soon? We have my friend Takalani Masho from South Africa. He will be talking about teaching and learning multicultural students at university. Then on Sunday, the 15th of May, we will have our first presentation in Spanish, because we will be talking about teaching English in kindergarten, problems of learning and teaching. These are our 4 speakers, 2 from Peru, 1 from Mexico, and 1 from Argentina. Then we will have Jose Ricardo, a good friend of mine from Colombia, but he lives in the USA. He will be talking about high leverage teaching practices. And then my good friend, very young, one of the youngest teachers in Peru, very successful one, Enrique Liñán, he will be talking about demystifying language functions in ELT. I love this topic because I love teaching functions instead of grammar. And then we will have Claudia Vanini. I don't know if you know her, and she will be talking about using digital tools in the classroom. That will be on Sunday, the 17th of July. And another good friend, very good friend, great person, Ivan Suazo from Costa Rica. This is a short title, examining the source, examining the source of our words and actions, developing a culture of peace and non-violence, skills for global citizenship and appreciation of cultural diversity. Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Very nice, right? Okay, who is presenting today? Have a look at this photograph.
Oh,
Oh,
who's that?
I'm sure you haven't seen them. Well, those are
Wow.
different facial expressions you have. And this is my friend Ursula Marmol. Let me say a few words about Ursula. Ursula has been an English and Spanish teacher to children, teenagers, and adults since 1990, a few years ago. She started teaching at a nursery school at a very early age, and then she moved on to work for Instituto de Idiomas de la Pontificia Universidad Católica del Perú. What a name. She worked at Instituto de Idiomas de la Universidad Católica for 17 years as a teacher trainer, and academic coordinator. She has given talks, workshops, and trainings for different enterprises all around the country. She spent 2 years in Austin, Texas, teaching Spanish as a foreign language. When back in Lima, she kept on teaching Spanish. She worked at Villa Maria School in La Planicie, teaching drama in English to junior high students. Ursula has attended several seminars and conferences on language teaching in the UK. She's also an actress and has participated in theater, plays, soap operas, and movies. As an actress and teacher, she has tried to combine her careers in the teaching field and has done it successfully. Now she's working independently, giving classes online, and living in the beautiful city of Cusco. So
Yes.
let's give virtual applauses to Ursula, and thank you so much, and everyone who is present here. Okay, now Ursula, the screen is all yours.
Okay. Good morning. First of all, the big round of an applause should be for everybody who is here today.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, for everybody attending this, because, well, that is something that is very important, because I think that if teachers connect to this or go to seminars and workshops on their free time, this shows really the how important it is for them to become better all the time, and to learn new things, to share. And that's really what makes us the best, right? When we keep on, let me share my screen. Keep on this. Okay. Well, that was the end. No, this is the last one. Wait a minute.
No, don't worry. It always happens to the best speakers in the world.
That's so bad.
Talking about mistakes, you see?
Yes, because I was going over this, of course, earlier, and then I got to the end, and then I left it there.
Don't worry.
Good. That's so good. Okay. So I'm going to start presenting. Is it? No. These are the conclusions. It's the back. Yeah. Here. Now, can you see it? Can you see it first?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So we have, this is my title. So this is gonna be very interactive, because I need your participation. Back to the classroom with a renovated view. Are we all ready? And this is what we're living right now, that our kids are going back to school. We are going back to the classroom. I don't want to talk too much about this, because we're gonna, yes. We are going to discuss this and get some ideas from you before. Questions for reflection. I want you to get these questions right now, and I want to hear you. I will please ask you to try to summarize your answer and go to the point, so that we don't extend too much. What do you expect from this talk, which is called Back to the Classroom with a Renovated View? What do you think we're going to talk about? What kind of ideas would you like to get? What do you think you need in order to fulfill students' expectations now that we're going back to the classroom? And how are you facing this coming back to school? First question, what do you expect from this talk? Very fast. Who would like to, what do you expect that we're going to talk about, or what is it?
Maybe activities, and Mary Wood says a change in the delivery of our lessons, and I agree with her.
Okay. Anyone else? What kind of ideas would you like to get?
Some new strategies in order to apply hybrid education.
Okay. Anything else?
I think ways to engage students, because they've been offline, working online so much. In person, how to have that level of connection and engagement.
Okay. Anything else? What do you think you need now that you're coming back to the classroom? What do you think you need to fulfill students' expectations? If you know what their expectations are.
Yeah, be updated.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, Mary Wood says, know what those expectations are.
Okay, exactly. First of all, we have to know what those expectations are. And can you share a little bit anything about how you're facing this coming back to school?
Well, at my university, it's very difficult because we have hybrid classes. So we have two groups of classes, the ones who are present and the ones who are online. So we have to be talking and moving our head and doing many different things to keep them motivated and wearing the mask and wearing a microphone, just like you.
Yes, just like me.
Yeah.
Right now. Okay, before I go to the next thing, which is I'm going to tell you a little bit the story of this. Like when I talked to Jaime and we talked about giving a workshop, and I said, yes, I have an idea. And this is a title, right? Going back to a classroom with a renovated view. And I prepared all my presentation. And it was, of course, about, we are going back to the classroom, and we have learned so much about virtual learning. So let's use these tools and let's do this. And I had prepared all my presentation. And when I finished, I said, this is crap. And I said, no, I'm not going to do this. Did anyone mention the emotional? Right now that we were talking about going back to the classroom. And then I just threw everything away and prepared this talk thinking about why did it come? Because I prepared all the presentation, and then in the end with very nice activities and things, and we have learned this and we have done this. And then I said, I'm not mentioning the emotional at all. And this is what not only our kids, and I was thinking pretty much on school students, or maybe, but this will go for everyone, adults too. We are coming from a pandemic. We are coming from being locked down for so long, virtual classes in front of a computer. So what I am focusing here now, and I changed, it's not, the title is the same, Back to a Classroom with a Renovated View, but my topic today will be regarding the emotional, okay? And I think it's very important. Did anyone mention the emotion? Why should we mention the emotional? Why should we mention the emotional now if we're going back to the classroom?
Because we are human. Because we are human beings. We are not machines. We are constantly struggling with our emotions and feelings, and also the students' feelings.
And we are coming, Mr. Angahima, I suppose we are coming from a very different and new and struggling experience that was this lockdown, right? Do you agree with me? I mean, and students and yes, Pilar?
Yes.
Money.
Manny Marin, go ahead.
Yes, for example, in my learning experience, I did some question about the social emotional development. For example, how do you feel in class? Or what is the difference between the virtual classes and face-to-face classes, no?
Yeah. Where are you from, Manny?
I'm from Rioja, San Martin.
Oh, welcome, the beautiful jungle. Welcome.
Thank you.
So of course, is it important, and as Jaime mentioned right now, the emotional is part of, we are human beings, we're not robots, but it is very important more than ever. Today, more than ever, for me, it is very, very important to take into consideration this emotional part, all the feelings that our students are bringing, that all the fears that they have, that we have. So it's really a very complicated emotional moment. So we have to deal with it. Are we ready to deal with it? That's what this is. These are the things that we're going to be answering. And what is it, what we are really dealing with regarding the emotions? Are we really, now I was thinking also of this. I've heard it, and I think it's happening everywhere. In many places, they have the feeling that they have lost 2 years of learning. I've heard it. Now we have to get updated. We have to catch up with everything that we haven't done in 2 years. And teachers, and we're probably pressed also by the authorities in the school, by the authorities in Minedu, and we have to catch up, and everything is academic. And wait a minute, we can go back even to Stephen Krashen's affective filter, which is something I was thinking of all that when I was preparing this. How about the affective filter? Now, more than ever, we have to, this affective filter must be very blocked, right? Kids don't know if they want to come back to classroom. Some of them don't know if they want, they do want, but they're also worried about other things. They can touch, they're wearing the mask. Wow, it's really, really something that we have to consider before getting into the classroom, before dealing with the academic. And of course, any activity that we do that has the emotional as the most important is going to be academic too, because it's going to be dealt in English in the classroom. Well, that's what we're going to mention then. I have a little anecdote, an example of something to open our eyes, right? We're in a classroom in the normal time before, and a student comes late wearing a cast on his arm. Let's say it's John, and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late." And the teacher said, "Oh, John, hello, you were absent yesterday, right?" "Oh, yes, I have an accident." "Oh, what? I have an accident yesterday?" And John said, "Yes, yesterday I have an accident, very bad. I break my arm." "Oh, wait. Yesterday you had an accident? Did you break your arm? Did you break?" "Yes, I break my arm. I have an accident yesterday. And today I'm better. I'm here in class, and hopefully," and the teacher, yeah, but wait. Think about it. Yesterday. And John says, "Yesterday I had," remember the past. "Oh, I had, yes. And I break or broke?" "Oh, yes, I broke my arm. It hurt a lot." Yes. Broke your arm. Very good. Excellent. Yesterday you broke your arm and it hurt. Very good, John. Sit down. Thank you very much. Welcome to the class. Okay, let's continue. What the hell?
Yeah,
The teacher didn't care about what was going on with the kid, and he sat down and I said, "Yes." At the end, "Yes, yesterday I break my arm and it hurt a lot today." No, and the teacher is maybe, "Oh no, again, going back to teach his grammar passionately. But this is just a little thing to like how engaged are you in the classroom with what is really happening. And even what John did, he gave all the message very clearly. He just made the mistake in grammar, but he gave all the information. We knew that he broke his arm, that it hurt, that he was absent because of this. And the teacher should have said what instead of that obsessive grammar teaching? "Oh, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling better? Did you have the accident alone? Were you with someone else? How did it?" Something else, right?
Right.
So this is just like a little thing to think about, how lost we can get sometimes when we are worried about teaching, right?
Right.
Well, I think
Okay.
what you're really mentioning is how important it is to build connection before content, you
Good.
know? Yeah.
Exactly. Good.
And empathy before education.
Exactly. And education, you're mentioning the word before teaching, maybe more than education, because education it covers all this, not
Yeah,
only the academic. We are
exactly.
educating people. That is the key word, probably. We are
Yeah.
educating children. As you said, Jaime, at the beginning, we are not robots. They are not robots. Okay, so an open class discussion, because we have, can you share any from you? Oh yeah, this is like, now that you are back to the classroom, what things have you seen? Can you share something with us? Like, can you share any from your students or the family? Or for example, I was thinking maybe you had a student last year, no, before the pandemic, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and now you see this student, and do you see a difference? Have you noticed something? Is there a special case that you would like to mention? What do you think they need? Are
I've,
our
I've,
students ready to face this? Should we just ignore the emotional because we should teach? Okay, all these questions are, yes.
I've
Jaime.
noticed, Ursula, that students love feeling the presence and to be present in class. They finish the class and they approach to me and they want to shake their feet.
They
Yes,
need contact.
yes. And,
Yes.
and sometimes on Fridays, I have only a 50-minute class and they prefer to come. It doesn't matter if it is late, but they love being there and listening and looking at you. I see that the contact, the personal contact is really important to them.
Okay, and I was thinking now that's why the order doesn't matter, because I have prepared this a lot as a lot of discussion to take this thing into consideration and try to move a little bit our classes and well, in my case, and this is what I suggest, from the emotional, now that we need it, go to the other things. I was going to mention something right now and I forgot. That is the Alzheimer.
That's our German friend.
Yeah. Yeah. That I was thinking of developing something with our students. Now, if we cannot touch, we are not supposed to touch yet, and all the to create with them, like something like you do this and you say, okay, let's hug everybody, and we things like that. I was thinking of those we can, especially maybe with kids, right? But we know that sometimes we think about kids, but then adults need the same, teenagers need the same. So we can develop some kind of gestures and things that mean I am hugging you. I am doing this to you because I can't have the contact, but we can, you know what I mean? Am I explaining myself? That you can develop, all right, we can develop some gestures and things that we all together create in order to fulfill that thing which is we cannot touch, right? What do you think they need? Well, that was one thing I wanted to know. I wanted to mention that, and I even had some testimonials. I don't think we're going to share all of those, but how kids are feeling about coming back. That's one thing, what they think they need or how they feel and what they really need, which is not the same. Sometimes they are too afraid, they are full of fears, and they're worried about the protocols and the things, and they think they need that a lot. But maybe we should also lower that anxiety and give them not only what they think they need, but also what they really need, which is this contact, this detaching from the computer, from the devices, right? They've been too much into that. Jaime?
Yes, and something else. When you take out the mask just for a while to drink some water, and you see their faces and their smile. It's beautiful because we don't see people smiling.
Yes,
because of the mask, but it's
Yes.
completely different. And students also like to see your face and say, oh, you are okay.
yes. So what do you think they need? Some little things that you can say if you feel like saying something. What do you think they need? Not only
Anybody,
Yes.
Pilar, Sofia, Manny, Herles, Jacqueline, Mary Wood, Vila, Marcela, anyone? Pilar, Raj?
They need connection, they need relationship, they need interaction.
Okay. Okay.
That we have to take into account about empathy.
Okay. Are our students ready to face this? Now, many of you or most of you are already experiencing this back to the classroom. Are they ready to face this? Do you feel they're ready?
I guess they are learning again. Because some of them, for example, at the university, some of them started their university studies 2 years ago when the pandemic started. So when they arrived at the university, it was their first time. They were in their third year, but they had never stepped on. They had never walked in the university
in the classroom.
before. Yes. So it's a new feeling. As Raj said, they need connection.
Yes. Yeah. Should we ignore? Should we ignore the emotional because we should teach? Of course not, right? Of course not. But my point today, and then I know all of you are experienced teachers. Nobody knows your students better than you yourselves. So you will see what to get, what to use, what not to use from this. But my suggestion now is going from the emotional to the rest, right? That is what I suggest. Well, we have some testimonials that I'm not going to share all the testimonials because they're very long and they are not, these are the first I got from students in other countries when they were going back to the classroom before we did, right? For example, in the US, they went to the schools before and just, for example, I'm going to read just parts. This one says, it feels like the ones in power do not really care about us. we all go back, the interaction with our peers and teenagers could cause many of us to contract the virus. Cases are bound to rise and blah, blah, blah. Now, there's fear in many cases. Now, in our country, the situation is different because we're going back to the classroom now that numbers have gone down. Like I don't remember, like when the US students went back to the classroom. Even Maddie would mention that in England. Her kids also, they went to school before. We have gone like very late, right? Do you agree with that? Our students have gone to school and we very late when the pandemic is almost over, right?
Yeah.
In some countries they went before. Now fear was something repeated. I have a student here who says, I have anemia, which makes us more susceptible. Now, why more susceptible to getting the virus? Specific cases, right? Students that are sick or family. Olympia, that is sick.
Don't worry, let Olympia bark.
Oli, come here just to say hello. She
speaks English.
She speaks English, of course. She does. Now, there's one that says, I miss sitting in a classroom. This also happens, using a desk, switching classrooms each period. But not everybody needs the same, gym, the lunchroom, all of that. I feel like we should have a mixture of remote learning and regular school learning. Not only will schools be less crowded and social distancing more possible, it would also give us the human interaction that we haven't had for a while. I feel like if they did this, I'd be more comfortable going to school. This is what a student says, a 16-year-old Sunset Park High School. As I said, those are from the US. Then I was asking friends and teachers and people, and they said that it was shared. There were some students who didn't want to go back. They are used to it. They don't want to move. They want to be in front of a computer. There are many teachers who don't want to go back to the classroom either. It's very comfortable to work from home. That's the other side. The teachers also. I know a lot of school teachers who would love to keep teaching from their houses because they are thinking probably only on how comfortable it is for them.
Yes.
Right? And well, yes, I had these testimonials that at the beginning, they were important for me, but I didn't want to go one by one. But I would like to know, as you said, many students, well, and now that they are back, they needed this, right? They needed this coming back to the classroom, having your peers face to face, your teacher face to face. Now I called it, and I put the emotional approach. In an emotional approach, if we could call it that way, students engage in their emotions. Sometimes we are very afraid of talking about emotions, sharing our emotions. It's not easy for everybody, but we should engage in our emotions when we teach also, and have our students do it. How? Yeah, you will see how, then you will suggest things, but I think it is important that they engage. And this means not only to know how I feel and to know what I need, but to identify the feeling. Sometimes students, if they are children or not, they don't understand what's going on. They don't know exactly what's happening. They cannot talk about emotions so easily. Now, I would suggest, for example, something very, very small that we can do right now. Breathing. Okay. Breathing. We're gonna breathe like this. Look, it's the 3-9-6 breathing. 3-9-6. We're gonna do it all together, huh? And you can do it in class before you start an activity, when you move from one thing to another, when they just arrive in the classroom, when you start the class. What is it? It's like, it's to find a balance, to get the right vibes, to, how is it? And now with the apus here in back of me, what is the 3-9-6 respiration? You inhale in 3, so you count. Inhale in 3, you hold the air in 9, you count 9, and then you exhale in 6. And we do it 3 times. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right now, okay? Remember, it's inhale in 3, hold the air in 9, sorry. Inhale 3, hold 9, and exhale in 6. Let's start right now. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Inhale in 3. Hold the air for 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exhale in 6. And the idea is that you control that number, and you see you're inhaling for very little. You're holding for the longest, and you're exhaling in 6. Again, 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Once again, 3 times it should be at least. Okay, do you feel anything better?
I feel I'm getting old.
Okay, controlling your breathing and like this, holding and inhaling, exhaling, but with the control of it, it's very good.
Of course,
Now,
I feel, sorry, Ursula, to interrupt. I feel that I am alive and I take into account that we never pay attention to our breathing.
Good.
We just do it, we just do it in the way we want to, but we should do this. We should do this.
It helps a lot. I recommend that you try this in the classroom when you're moving from one activity to another, when you start the day, before you finish the day. It helps a lot. Take it or leave it. What you need and what you feel will be useful, you take. If it's something that you don't feel will help, you just don't. But it helps a lot, and it helps students. It helps kids, adolescents, people, like, be, as Jaime said, first feeling aware of your breathing, which is very important, and then getting a balance, feeling ready to change, for example. Well, okay, students should accept and understand, or understand and accept their emotions. If we talk about emotions, and people, in this case, if they're children, they understand that everybody has the different feelings, that some of them feel the same as I am. And the teacher also has feelings. As you said, Jaime, at the beginning, there was a good introduction. We're not robots. They should understand and accept. Yes, please. Who said something? Who was talking? No? Oh, I heard someone. It's my inner voice, probably, talking to me. Olympia, come here and say hello. Come here and say hello from the emotional. Here she is. Hello. You see,
hello, Olympia.
Hello. She's pure love because she's being raised emotionally aware, right?
Yes. If that happens with an animal, imagine what happens with us, human beings, students. Yes.
You know what? Because I don't know if you agree with this, but it's a taboo, and even now, to talk about the emotions, to share what you feel. Sometimes we are taught not to show our feelings, not to show our emotions, not to show that we're weak.
Yes, and vulnerable, Ursula.
Vulnerable. And I am telling you this as an actress too. That's why, and it's true, as a teacher, I've always tried to combine my careers in terms of bringing the actor's preparation into the classroom as a teacher, and also students to do the kind of activities that we do, actors, when we are preparing for a play, when we play, because that's what actors do. Actors don't work, actors play, right? We play, and all the time, and sharing the emotions, being able to understand and accept what we are feeling is very important. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes talking. We have to share. We have to talk with our students about that without feeling bad about it. We shouldn't feel bad about how we feel, right? You know what I mean? So I think this is a good practice also, that we should share with our students, that they should understand and accept their emotions. Now we're going to see how. Students are aware of their peers' emotions. If we talk about this with everybody and they understand that my friend is acting like this because he feels like this, oh, I know. So we are also educating people that are more aware of what's going on around. It's not only me, my computer, my cell phone, because that's the thing of the new generation also, that they are, and imagine 2 years in school virtually, their contact with people is almost none, right? And the emotions are the emoticons only. Have you noticed that teenagers communicate much better texting. I had this impression even some years ago with my kids.
Yes.
My kids, the only time they say I love you is when they write it in a text. And they write it, they put I love you, mom, te amo, mama, te quiero, and they put beautiful things, but they are not able to say it face to face.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Pilar, please.
Yes, it's a little complicated for them to express their ideas and emotions right now. Okay,
Yes.
because they prefer sending messages to each other, and then in class they feel frustrated to do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, do you think we can work on this? It's little by little, but do you think we can get some, we can try and get some good results? Do you think it's possible?
Yeah, I think that in class we can work on that.
I think it's very possible. One day,
Yes.
I just remember when I came here and I had my kids from here in Cusco, I was giving them classes. The pandemic started, so they were studying virtually, and I shared my internet and I helped them with their homework and I did things with them and I did activities. And one day I invited them. I just remembered this activity is also something that we can do in class. And I said, okay, we're gonna think about how grateful we are. Are you grateful for things? It was in Spanish with them, right? And they said they didn't know very much what I was talking about. Grateful. I said, for example, what can you say gracias por? What can you thank for? And they said they didn't know, right? And I said, whoa, we have a lot of things to be thankful for. Let's see how much we have to be thankful for. As take the alphabet. I said with every letter of the alphabet, we're going to have one thing to be thankful for. And we all work together. A. And they say, hey, and we said, yeah, I'm grateful, I'm thankful for las aves que tenemos hermosas aquí, for example, right? And we went through the alphabet to say all the things we are thankful for, and we could find for every word, a letter in the alphabet, we found something to say. This is an activity that is also taking the emotional part into consideration.
Yes.
Okay, for example, we can create our own activity. It's little things, and at the same time, we are teaching English. We are doing the activity in English. We can see what what we're supposed to be teaching, and then adapt it, but adapt the activity into something that has more to do with this, engaging in their emotions, understanding and accepting the emotions, being aware of what the others feel. Yes.
Yeah.
We all try to deal with our emotions together. And we, as you said, vulnerable. We show that we are vulnerable because we are all the same. We all have these feelings.
Okay, we have to apply some most activities that let them to interact each other in order to participate and express their ideas through visual organizers, because they are going to be critical thinking, apply critical thinking with their ideas, and they are going to be active to do that.
Excellent, of course. And there are a lot of, I am just switching the little thing. You're still teaching, but why don't we, and especially now that they're coming and we are all coming from this situation that has been so difficult for everyone, we can always adapt a little bit the activities that we have, and we're going to be more human, and we're going to be really helping our students if they're dealing with something. So we're dealing with our emotions together. Leave behind fear to talk about our emotions. And you said that it's difficult for them. It's something that has to be trained. Yes?
Yes, another thing is collaborative work.
Of course. Now, in all these kind of activities that I am, not activities, but this kind of emotional approach that I'm suggesting, all the activities have to be very interactive, collaborative, even with the other teachers. I was thinking of this, not only the integrated skills, but also with the other courses. We talk to the other teachers, the math teacher, what's going on in the classroom? Are you trying? And nowadays, that is the trend.
This is clear.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And it's easier. Then you will see if we start from the emotional, but it's hard. We are not all prepared for this. The teacher has to be very honest too. If you are not really sharing, if you're not really genuine in the class, you won't get anything. Now, I don't think everyone can work this out. I think you as a teacher have to be very stable and at a certain point where you can deal with this honestly. Okay?
Okay.
Share and compare our emotions. Those are and I include the teacher always in these kind of things, because if you only have them share their emotions, get engaged in their emotions, but you are like the, I don't know what to call it. It's not a coach, it's not a teacher, it's someone just as the authority, checking and monitoring, the monitor only, then I don't think the results will be the best, right? Play with our emotions. This is play. And we know role playing, we're gonna see how, but the idea is playing with them. Be able, after you do all this, all the first part, after you do, I'm going to use this. After you do all this, you will be ready to play with your emotions freely, honestly, playfully, right? Why? Because you have gone over the others first. Let's see what else I have here. Yeah, it says here, from the emotional to the academic. That's what I want. I am not reading the chat. Maybe you can help me with that, Jaime.
Yes, of course. I will read it
yes,
for you.
Please. Please.
Well, Mary said a few minutes ago that only students had 6 months and then 4 months off. And then she said that the activities could be good to level their emotions. And I agree with that. Let me say a few words there.
Yes,
also.
please.
You're talking about feelings and emotions, and I guess that the problem for students to show their feelings and emotions, it comes from their houses. Especially fathers here in Peru, because we are macho man, we don't cry, we don't express our feelings. Well, not me, I'm easy to cry. and that's what our children learn. And then it's difficult for them to show their and express their feelings. And also teach some professors, well, it depends on the level, right? I guess that when they are in kindergarten, most teachers are sweet and lovely. Then in primary school, they are changing a little bit. And then in secondary, very strict. Nobody cries, especially if you are a man or a boy. And then at university, it gets worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, I had just to share a little thing. When I was teaching drama, I was not teaching English. I was teaching drama at a school in Lima. That course didn't exist before. The director in that moment had the idea. We met and we created the program of drama. Now, the first objective for the school was to use their English in a natural way. That's why we did drama, because with drama, they had to talk, they had to create, it was not to, and I always said that the objective was not to create actresses. Well, that school was for girls. So it's the emotions for girls are probably a little easier to deal with in our culture than for men. But well, just what I wanted to share is that with the kind of activities that we had, that we're always creating, recreating, playing, emotions, and drama, my students were always saying this, Ursula, I love this class because I feel, what was the word? I feel free, and I feel that I can really express myself and be myself.
Maybe Ursula, free and safe.
Yes, and safe.
Yes.
I have an activity that I'm going to mention later that I used to have all the time in my drama class, the first day of class, and was very emotional. But they had to be safe because many students ended up crying, but it was never bad. It was always good, and everybody hugging each one and understanding. And they told me, I have studied with this girl since Nido, since nursery school, and this is the first time I know something real about her.
Yes.
And I understand so many other things about her just after this little activity where we opened up.
Yeah.
Now, another little thing that I wanted to mention was when I came here, all the kids here that I met one by one, little by little, they are not used to hugging. They don't hug. They don't hug. They don't have that contact. Here, the kids, I don't know, it's just cultural. Everything's cultural. They are not used to hugging. And I remember that from the very first day, I said, hey, Yumpio, come here, give me a big hug. And at the beginning, they couldn't. And I hugged them. And I say, yeah, you too, strong. And now they all come and hug me, and they love to do it. And they have learned to hug.
Yeah.
It's
incredible,
just,
right, Ursula?
Yes.
Learn to hug, something that we should do from the very right beginning.
Yes, and they don't do it.
Yeah, could we give a minute to the people who are here? Maybe they want to say something. Raj, Mari Carmen, Vila, Mary Wood, Manny, Marine, Sofia, Herles, Helen, Jacqueline, Maria del Pilar, and Silvia. Do you want to say something? Do you want to make a comment or a question, Jacqueline? Anyone?
Okay, please.
Yeah, Pilar.
Ask that in what moment of our learning process we are going to apply some activities in order to deal with this kind of emotion or our students' emotion at the beginning, maybe during the class, at the end of the class.
Okay, that's a question for me. Like, when can you deal with this? Okay, I think that we can take it into consideration all the time, always, whatever we're teaching. But of course, we're not always doing this kind of activities. But they will work a lot. For example, the first day of class, if you're meeting them, they don't know you, they know each other a little bit. You do an activity that, without considering really the academic, it is just, and without that, I think it's important. It's an icebreaker. It's to get to know each other better. So my hour today is devoted for that, because it's the first encounter. I want them to feel free and safe, as you said. I want them to feel at ease with everyone. So I am devoting this first class, for example. I'm giving this first class to this. I want to get this good bonding. I want to create something today that will make them feel, I want to come to this class. I feel well. It's good. Now, if you're talking about when to do it, like in the stage of the lesson, it can work well at the beginning. It can work well at the end. If you're just like forgetting about everything and let's just breathe, for example. Let's just, something that is not probably verbal. It's not has nothing to do with the language. It's probably just an activity to relax, or just maybe at the end of a class, at the beginning. But I think we can always, they will get used to it if you're dealing with it day by day, little by little. Because for me, it's a style, it's a lifestyle. Like, show your feelings. Why not? Do it. I am dealing with this with my husband every day since I met him. You know, and for him, and you know, when I love him the most, when he's vulnerable, and I tell him, I love you so much when you're vulnerable. I said, cállate, I am not vulnerable. I am very scared, right? But really, now
Yes.
he made an actress, and it's not what he needed, he thought. So we have that struggle there, which is, now I'm just giving this example because really, for example, for him, as you said, Jaime, for him, it is difficult to show his
Yeah.
emotions, to the way he was raised. And I tell him, if you knew how attractive you are when you're vulnerable for women. No, yes, it's true. So it's a day by day thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a reminder, Ursula, we got
Yes.
20 more minutes.
Okay. Now, what are the kind of things? Activities using feelings and emotions. Now, it could be writing, it could be role play, it could be even in reading. We're going to see how. Those are keywords, no? You can have activities using feelings and emotions, and you can do it in writing. For example, now, of course, it depends on the level of how would you say? First of all, how well you know your students. If you have, for example, writing, there are many activities. For example, if we talk about death, if we have a reading on death, and we start talking about death, which is part of life, and then I say, okay, do you have anyone loved that is not around anymore? Write a letter to her. What would you like to say to her? And they are not speaking, they're writing. But you know how much that exercise helps? And they're writing in English, and they are writing, the purpose is real. Write to the person. Say something that you wanted to say when she was alive and that you couldn't. You're not going to share it with anyone if you don't want. Not even with a teacher. And sometimes there's writing that if you want to give it to me at the end of the class. If you don't want to share it, don't give it to me.
I had never thought, Ursula, about that activity. Write a letter to someone who is up there in heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful activity. I've done it.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yes,
beautiful.
it is.
Oh, the results, 100%, I can assure that are going to be good. And even if a student starts crying and feeling like, oh, then the others realize and go and hug naturally. Yeah, they go and hug and say, yeah, I feel the same, and they have a moment. And you know what? When we learn, and there are feelings involved, that learning is unforgettable. You don't forget when the learning is linked to feelings. Trust me. It's true. You never forget. For example, that class where I had this, I never forget that I wrote a letter and that I did this and what happened and blah, blah. Well, role play, role play is all the time. It could be with a role play from the book that you adapt or with something they create. But I am just suggesting this, taking the start on, or the most important part, of the feelings, on the emotions. Okay, you're gonna role play and the feelings are maybe playing, maybe as a comedy first, but dealing with feelings, dealing with emotions. Now we can also have this reading, as I said, you look for the readings that you think might help them understand their emotions, talk about, and the readings are always a good start. They read it and then they talk about it, and then they can write about it. They can share. Nowadays, if you are coming back from the pandemic, from lockdown, I think we should consider a lot playing outdoors, getting our students out of the classroom, doing an activity outside is going to be really, really good for them, good for everybody. Maybe they don't want to do it, but it's necessary, and it will. Going back to basics, what do I mean with this? Going back to playing as we used to do when we were children. which is what they are not doing now. If we're talking about children more here in this part, I guess, they are attached to a computer, attached to a device. So let's go back to the games that we used to play that are more physical, activities that are kinesthetic, standing, moving. I think if we're going back to the classroom now, we need that our kids do this kind of things that they are not doing, and they were not doing because they were locked down. They didn't even, or they couldn't even go to a park at the beginning. Remember? So, well, I'm just suggesting detach from computer and devices. Now, of course, the other part and the beginning of my presentation was the opposite. It was using all those tools and instruments that we've learned from virtuality in presentiality, which is still there and you should use, right? But if we do that, we're giving them a lot of the same, and it's not exactly what they need. As we said before, they need communication strategies. They need to express their feelings better, enjoy presentiality, arts helps a lot. You can, if you're having children, you can even go back to having just painting in the English class. Yes, then you're going to talk maybe about it, but have them paint, have them color, have them jump, move, create something. Arts is very gardening. I was thinking of having our students now, okay, bring a plant in English. You're not in ciencias, in English, and everybody brings a plant to the classroom and they have to take care of it. It's going back to basics. They need this. They don't do that anymore. Painting. At my 52, I started painting for the first time in my life. And this was also while I was preparing this. That's why I threw everything away and I said, no, this is not what we need. I paint and I feel so relaxed. And I said, that's why kids love painting. And we do it when we are kids. And then if we are not artists, we don't do it ever again. And it's so good, believe me. I have painted this. Do you see it?
Yes,
and
we
I
can
have,
see that.
And this is the first time in my life at 52, I'm 52 years old, and I started painting. And I think it's something that it's so relaxing, and it can bring. Now, I mentioned some things, activities very fast. Now we can, I think that we are the people who best know our students, as I said before. How I feel, how you feel. This is a title. You can adapt it, you can do it as you want. An activity, how I feel, how you feel. We talk about it, how I feel, how you feel. Talking. Now, this is just a title. I am just giving an idea of make up a story using fictional characters, but using your emotions, for example.
Ah, good.
Make fun of your own feelings with love and care, just for fun. Maybe after then we say, okay, let's make fun of. That is what clown, that is what the clown has to do with. It's making fun of yourself. And it's so liberating. Write a diary. Share only if you want an idea, as the other letter, for a person who has passed away, or for a person you don't see anymore. And if you want to share it, you do. If you don't want, you don't. And believe me, usually students want to share, at least with you. If they have this bonding, it has happened to me. I said, if you don't want to give it to me, don't do it. If you don't want to share, it's yours, it's personal. Not me, but I want to share it with you. Can I? Sure. And they give it to you. And this builds also a relationship that is forever, because they share sometimes very deep things. Interview your peers. How do you feel about, for example, and find coincidences? Because here, what I think is very important is not only to understand yourself, but to understand the others, to find coincidences. I am not the only one. we're all the same. We all have fears. We all have some conclusions very fast because I know I have to finish. Do not take anything from granted. Yeah, sometimes we take things from granted. Do not take anything. You can understand this as you wish. Care about your students and show it. Have you ever told your students that you love them?
Yep. And I tell them.
And what's a reaction, Jaime, usually?
At the beginning,
Always.
they look at you like saying,
yes, esto
why?
está loco, ¿qué le pasa?
Yes. And
Yes.
I tell them, I'm a father. Before being a teacher, I'm a father. And before being a father, I'm a human being. So I feel, I cry, I love, just like you.
No, it's always good.
Yes.
When you tell your students that you love them, that you care about them, but you really mean it, and you say it at the right moment, and you share something also.
They feel more comfortable when you tell, as a teacher, tell them that you love them, that you are very worried about them.
Yes. I have.
And I explain, sorry, Ursula, I
Yes.
explain to them what I mean by I love you. It's not,
Yes.
it's not attraction, but it's
It's not
because
romantic.
yes, that is that
Yes.
I prepare my classes,
Of
that
course.
I study, that
Exactly.
that I appreciate what they do, that
Exactly.
I care about them.
I am on a Sunday morning doing this with our teachers, sharing or attending just because of you. You know what? How I spent my Sunday. So I went to a seminar for teachers yesterday, for example. I remember that at school. And I said, on Sunday? Yes. And I only do this because of you, because of my students.
And by the way, many other teachers don't come because we don't give any certificate or diploma. But I will start giving diplomas and certificates.
Good.
Signed by me.
But this is what you mentioned is very important. And that's why I told you, this kind of teaching also is not for everybody, Jaime.
Yeah.
This is not for everybody. This is not for, teach with compassion and love. First things first. For me, in this case, first things first is the emotional first, not the grammar, like poor John. ¿Qué me importa si te rompiste el brazo? I don't care. Just say it in past. Right? That's the message of the student, of the teacher, you know? For me as a student, that message is, he cares nothing about me, or she, the teacher. She just wants me to do the grammar well. She doesn't want to know if it hurts, if I had a bad day yesterday. She doesn't care. She's showing that she doesn't care. Right?
That's true. That's true.
Totally.
Yeah.
Emotionally healthy students and teachers will more likely succeed.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Emotionally healthy. Yeah. And that's the end. The end for now.
Okay.
Yes.
We got like.
We are in time, right? That's why. Because I wanted to mention, but because I wanted to mention a little activity that I used to do in my drama class that always works, like for the first day. But if we don't have time.
No, we have time. How long will it take?
No, very little. I'm just going to explain.
Do it.
I think I have it here.
Yeah.
My meaningful object. And I'm going to do it. My meaningful object. Well, the first day of class, we meet in a circle, and I just tell them, after we introduce ourselves, our names and that, and I tell them, I ask them to think about a meaningful object. And the first thing they mention is my cell phone. And I say, cell phones, laptops are prohibited. A meaningful object is an object that has a meaning for you emotionally, something that is important for you because of, and at the beginning they say, no, I don't have a meaningful object. I don't. If I ask you right now, you will have to think about it. So we start talking about it. Your meaningful object can be something that someone gave you, and it's important because of the person, and a photograph, maybe this, maybe that. And first They talk about it, they decide what the meaningful object is. Okay, they go home, and then for next class, which is next week, I told them, if you change your meaningful object at home because you found something else, change it, and they had to bring the meaningful object on the next class, right? Now, that meaningful object usually opens many things and they come to class, show their object, say why it is the important object. Sometimes they change it at the moment and say, Miss, I brought this, but it's not that. After I heard you and after I heard her, my meaningful object is another one. And they start talking. Now,
teacher, may I show my
yes.
meaningful object?
Yes.
This.
It's your mom.
It's my mom.
Right.
She passed away like 3 years ago, but every morning before leaving and when I arrive home, I touch the photograph and I ask her for her blessing and I thank. Now with your presentation, I will write a letter to her.
Good.
Thank you.
just to finish, I said my meaningful object were my glasses in that class, and I was the first one to talk, and that's why I opened, like I said, my meaningful object is my glasses. These glasses belonged to my niece who passed away when she was 24 years old.
Really?
And yes, Macarena, she was like my daughter.
Oh.
And I remember when they said, what do you want to keep from Macarena? And I said immediately, her glasses. I want to see through her eyes. And those glasses stayed with me for a long time. These are not really the glasses anymore. Okay. Of course, I changed the glass, but I told my students, and I opened myself, and they looked at me, and then only after I did it, before they wouldn't. Only after I showed and I did, and I opened myself, they start opening like safely, as you said.
Yes.
So that kind of things that you can share with your students, but you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now, yes, I can say it's the end.
Could you please stop sharing your screen, dear Ursula?
Yes, of course.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Well, number one, let me thank you, dear Ursula. And yes, because of this refreshing and motivating and rewarding experience this morning, believe it or not, many of the guest speakers have talked about emotions, compassion, and feelings and everything else. But your point of view has been from a different side, and I want to thank you because I've learned a lot. I always like to learn about feelings and emotions because without them, we are not humans.
We are nothing.
Yeah, and we teachers are the first ones who have to keep this in mind. Okay, so thank you so much. So now let's listen to what the other people have to say. Raj, Pilar, Manny, Mary Wood, Eneli, Vila, Soto, Sofia, Jacqueline, Isabel, Maria del Pilar, Silvia, Erles. And if somebody here wants to say it in Spanish, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning,
good morning,
speakers.
Silvia. Good morning, Silvia.
Good morning. So,
where are you from, Silvia?
Okay, I'm from Chiclayo.
Oh,
Lambayeque.
Que vive el departamento de
Lambayeque.
Yes. Okay, go ahead, Silvia.
Thank you so much to you and Mrs. Ursula. This conference for me was very significant because I'm a teacher, but my interest is very, es muy, ¿qué le puedo decir? Muy estresante porque no se me va y viene y no he podido escuchar lo que es en los puntos más claves. No sé de qué forma podría podría volver a escuchar o lo van a publicar, no sé
Yes,
cómo
yes,
podríamos seguir.
yes, dear Silvia. I'm going to write my cell phone number so you can send me a WhatsApp message, and I will share with you the recording of this presentation. Can you see
Please.
my cell phone number in the chat?
Oh, in the chat. Oh,
In the chat, you got my telephone number. And you write,
okay.
Okay, you write
Yes.
to me a message in WhatsApp and I will send you the link of the recording.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you, dear Silvia. Anybody else, please, who wants to express his or her opinion or point of view?
For me, it was an outstanding presentation because we learned a lot. And because we know that we as a teacher know that when students express their ideas and emotions, we as a teacher feel comfortable because we realize immediately that they are learning from us.
Yes, yes, dear Pilar, thank you so much. Anyone else, please, who wants to speak?
I think, Ursula, I appreciate your presentation and the reminder about the value of emotional connection with students. And I think you also mentioned that the teacher needs to be authentic himself or herself as well. So that I'm just expecting you to share everything, but I'm not going to share anything. That doesn't work either. It has to be mutual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's so valuable to be genuine, to be real,
Yes.
you know, and create relationships, particularly after the 2 years or over 2 years of the pandemic. How to de-escalate the human mind, you know. We have been in such a isolated, escalated state. How to stabilize that.
You
Yes,
said it.
that's
Yes.
true. That's true, dear Raj. Anyone else, please? Bila, Eneli, Mary Wood, she wrote, thank you for the presentation, Ursula. Great content and highlight of the emotions. We mustn't forget when teaching. So thank you so much, dear Mary Wood in England. Yes. Anyone else, please, before the final words of Ursula in today's presentation? Anybody else who wants to talk? Ilka Guzman from Ecuador, she wrote, agree, we always learn something in these sessions, thank you. And she has written that it's important, the feelings and emotions of the students. We need to make our students comfortable with themselves at the class and with the teacher. We need to reduce any kind of anxiety before getting into academics, icebreakers, transitional activities, and closing activities will help. That is what Ilka from Ecuador says. Anyone else? Anyone else here in the session? Well, thank you one more time, dear Ursula, and then you will speak. Before giving you the chance of saying something else, let me remind you that on Sunday, the 24th, that is in 2 Sundays, we will have Takalani Masho from South Africa talking about teaching and learning multicultural students, okay? So dear Ursula, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to listen to you, to learn from you. And so there are many things to learn, to take away with us. And the most important is, I guess, to be genuine. How do you pronounce it?
Genuine,
Right?
yes.
Genuine. Okay. Okay. You see, this is something that I always do in presentations, in conferences. If I don't know, or
Of course.
I tell them, how do you pronounce it? How do you say it?
Of course. Of course.
And some people at the end of the conference, they say, why did you ask? Because I don't know.
Yeah. And to your students also, when you don't
Yes.
know, you don't know. I hate it when the teacher starts inventing or creating something that is completely or moving and saying things that are out of the, because they are avoiding the answer when they should just say, you know what? I don't know that. Let's look up the word together, or let's investigate, and you are a human being, and the students respect you more when you are genuine. And they say, yeah, my teacher, when she doesn't know, she says, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So thank you, Ursula.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you, teacher Jaime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very
Yes.
important, your job. Very important, your job.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Just Jaime. I'm not teacher, master, headmaster, or whatever. Just
Yeah,
Jaime.
Jaime, I also want to thank you for the opportunity. I really admire your job like tons, because you're always so active. You are doing so much, and I really think you do a great job.
Well, it's not a job, it's passion.
Yeah,
it's, it's feelings,
yes.
that an emotion that move me. And besides, someday I will be dead and I won't be able to do anything. So I take advantage of being alive.
Yeah,
so,
you will be dead one day, definitely. That's for sure. We all
thank you.
will.
And so will you.
Yes, of course. So will I.
Now the question is, who will be first?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, I will be waiting for you and everyone else up in heaven to keep on with our virtual online conferences. So this is your time, Ursula, for your final words today.
Okay, thank you very much again for the invitation. Just something that could show why I ended up doing this. It's interesting because I started with something else. It is never late to start doing something. Well, that's one part. Like I started painting. I had all these emotions coming out. Then I looked at my presentation and I said, no, this is not what we need. And then I changed it completely and went to something else. So I think that sometimes when teaching, and after many years teaching and knowing everything about the latest methodology and the trends, and there's always a time to stop and say, no, what am I doing? And rethink everything, or adapt it to what you see, what's happening in class. I don't know what I would, my last words today will be like, never is late for anything. So if you feel like trying new things, do it. And sometimes breaking everything up to start from scratch is the best decision, you know. Sometimes it's like, yeah, breaking up everything, I say, no, this is not. Let's look at it from another point of view. And a big thing opens, completely a universe.
Well, people in Facebook Live, thank you. And good news, dear Ursula, ANUPI, Asociación Nacional Universitaria de Profesores de Inglés from Mexico, shared your presentation, and people from Ecuador too. And I'm happy about ANUPI because this is the first time they how do you say, they share a presentation, and that's good.
That's great.
Yes, and please, could we have your PowerPoint presentation? Could you send it to me so I can share it with other people if you want, if you can?
Yes, I can share it. I don't think the PowerPoint presentation gives a lot because
it does. It does.
Yeah, okay. I'll send it to you.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you everyone in Facebook Live. Thank you, Raj in Canada. Pilar, thank you so much for such a very good and active participation today. Sophia, Bila, Eneli, Mary Wood in England, Manny Marin, Jacqueline Burgos, Silvia, Maria del Pilar, Isabel Ceballos, and everyone else in Facebook Live. Thank you so much. Have a good Sunday and see you in 2 Sundays. Goodbye.
Bye,
bye
teacher.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
I'll see you in Machu Picchu in Cusco, Ursula.
Yes.
This year.
Yes,
Maybe
of course.
It's on my bucket list, so I'm
Teacher,
coming.
thank you.
No, thank you, Maria del Pilar. Yes, Raj. It must be your bucket list. Go
yes,
to
Raj.
Yeah.
Very nice meeting you, Raj. You're adorable.
Yeah.
See you
Pleasure
next
to meet
time.
you. Bye-bye
That's
now.
why she's the
Bye.
president of the association.
Now I understand. Now I understand.
Jaime makes that up, you know.
I know. I know. I know.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.